Okay, so let's cut right through all the noise. The world of skincare, it's this giant, multi-billion-dollar industry, and it is packed with confusing claims and super expensive products. But what if I told you there's a simple, expert-backed blueprint for true, long-term skin health? Yeah, we're going to forget the marketing and build a plan that's actually based on biology.
So to get started, you've got to understand the incredible organ we're working with here. Just think about this number for a second. 28 days. That's the cycle. Every single month, your body builds an entirely new surface layer of skin. So your skin isn't just sitting there. It's this dynamic, living system that we have the power to actually influence and improve month after month.
And that brings us to the big question, right? If we get a fresh start every 28 days, what's the most effective way to guide that process? How do we make sure that the new skin is healthier, stronger, and way more resilient than the last? Well, that is exactly the blueprint we are going to lay out right now.
First things first, and this is probably the most important part. We have to look inside. Real skin health, the kind that lasts, doesn't start with some cream or serum you put on your face. Nope. It starts with your internal biology. This is the foundation that everything else gets built on.
And the single biggest internal factor is something every one of us deals with: stress. See, your body doesn't know the difference between the stress of being chased by a lion and the stress from a crazy work deadline. It just pumps out the same stress hormone, cortisol. And, as dermatologist Dr. Suleimani points out, cortisol's job is to break things down. And that includes the very proteins, collagen and elastin, that give your skin its structure and bounce. So chronic stress literally speeds up the aging process you see in the mirror.
Now, the second part of that internal foundation is, of course, nutrition. According to the experts, the best diet for your skin is actually really simple: high protein and anti-inflammatory. Complete proteins, especially from animal sources, give your body the essential building blocks it needs for strong, healthy skin cells. And when you pair that with anti-inflammatory foods like fruits and vegetables, you help calm down the internal stuff that can cause skin issues in the first place.
Okay, so let's move from the inside out and talk about our first external step. And listen up, because this is where we can save you a ton of money and a whole lot of frustration. We are about to debunk a major myth in skincare.
This is a direct quote from a leading dermatologic surgeon, and it is a total game changer. The idea that a $100 cleanser is somehow better than a $5 one, it's pure marketing. There is zero scientific evidence to back that up. In fact, a lot of the time, the more expensive products can actually cause more problems.
So what's the secret? Keep it simple. Seriously, dermatologists constantly recommend basic, fragrance-free cleansers like a Dove Bar or Cetaphil, the same kind of stuff they tell you to use on a newborn baby. The problem with those fancy, complex formulas is that they're often loaded with fragrances and preservatives, which are common irritants. And that can lead to over-cleansing, stripping your skin's natural oils, and messing up its healthy microbiome. You end up creating problems instead of solving them.
Okay, on to what is arguably the most critical daily habit for preventing future damage and just preserving the skin you have. We're talking about your daily shield against the outside world.
When it comes to sunscreen, you basically have two choices, and they work in totally different ways. You can think of mineral sunscreens, the ones with zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, as a physical shield. They actually sit on top of your skin and reflect the UV rays away like a suit of armor. Chemical sunscreens, on the other hand, are more like a sink. They soak up the UV radiation and then cause a chemical reaction on your skin to turn it into heat.
So, why does that difference matter so much? Well, there are some pretty serious red flags being raised about chemical sunscreens. For one thing, their active ingredients get absorbed into your bloodstream at levels hundreds of times higher than the FDA's own safety limit. On top of that, some of these chemicals are potential endocrine disruptors. They mess with your hormones, and they've even been found in breast milk and amniotic fluid. It's gotten so serious that the FDA no longer considers them generally recognized as safe. So the expert consensus is pretty clear. Stick with the shield, not the sink. Mineral sunscreens are just the safer bet.
All right, we've covered protecting your skin, but what about repairing it? What about actually reversing the signs of aging and improving your skin's biology? Well, there is one tool that stands head and shoulders above pretty much everything else you can buy. And that tool is the retinoid family. These are prescription-strength derivatives of vitamin A, and they are incredibly powerful. What they do is speed up that 28-day skin cycle to just 7 to 9 days. And we know from biopsy studies that this not only builds new collagen and elastin, but it also reduces precancerous cells. It's like a true biological reset for your skin.
But, and this is super important, this is where the beauty industry intentionally tries to confuse you. You see retinol everywhere, right? But retinol is not the same as a prescription retinoid.
The over-the-counter retinol is basically an inactive ingredient. Your skin has to do all this extra work to convert it into an active form, and it's often sold at concentrations that are too low to do much anyway. A prescription retinoid, on the other hand, is biologically active right out of the tube. If you want real, scientifically proven results, you have to skip the drugstore stuff and get a prescription.
So let's put all of these pieces together. We're going to combine these expert insights into one simple, totally actionable blueprint for the long-term health of your skin.
And here it is, your 5-step plan. Number 1, manage your inner health by cutting down stress to lower that collagen-killing cortisol. 2, eat a high-protein, anti-inflammatory diet. 3, cleanse simply and cheaply. 4, shield your skin every single day with a mineral sunscreen. And finally, number 5, repair and rebuild with a prescription retinoid. That's it. No complicated 10-step routine, no $1,000 creams, just a simple framework that's built on actual science.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. The beauty industry pushes us to chase these temporary, cosmetic goals. But true skin longevity? It's not about glamour, it's about biology. So take a hard look at your own habits. Is your routine built for short-term appearance, or are you actually investing in the long-term biological health of your body's largest organ?